Hello, hi everyone. This is Grace Paraza from the Bailiwick Academy, and thank you for joining us tonight. We're gonna have a discussion about business registration and tax for online sellers. Kasi 'di ba, ang dami nang lumalabas ngayon ng mga information and we don't know kung ano yung mga dapat ba natin gawin as online sellers. Okay. So for tonight, we're gonna have the CEO of Taxumo. I've invited EJ Arboleda to talk about um, business registration and tax. All right. So hold on.
Hi,
EJ.
hi, Grace.
Hi.
Hello, Grace. Good evening.
Kamusta?
Hi, everyone. I'm good. Akala ko
Okay
matatakpan ng
naman.
blanket yung likod ko, hindi pala natakpan. So I apologize for the edges.
Okay lang yan. Carry na yan. Ayan. Medyo, we're supposed to start at 8:30 pero okay na yan. Just
Okay, sige.
warming up kasi naghanap pa tayo ng mga viewers natin.
Sure, oo.
Oh, yan. I'm
How's
just going
Bailiwick
to...
doing, Grace? Like, if you don't mind me asking.
The Bailiwick Academy, we're creating online classes about baking and cooking. So for now, we're doing really good sa mga classes namin. So basically, ang market natin is mga home bakers. So karamihan sa kanila talaga online sellers. So they just post sa Facebook and social media, and then doon sila nagbebenta. So there were concerns talaga na about on how to go about registering their business and about tax. So yun, di ba daming balita? So yun.
Pinakot sila ni BIR.
Oo, yun nga eh. Yun. So yun yung concerns nila ngayon, and hopefully masagot nyo mamaya.
Sure, definitely.
Sa discussion. So bale, forward nila sa akin yung concerns nila, and we'll answer their questions later.
Sige. Sure.
Yan. Share ko lang dito sa group namin. So by the way, guys, we're broadcasting live sa Facebook page natin, and also in our YouTube channel. So if this is your first time here in our page, and you're not a student yet sa the Bailiwick Academy, so please sign up at www.thebailiwickacademy.com, and you will get a lot of information about sa mga subjects like cooking and baking. Yan. So it will really help you sa ngayong may problem tayo sa pandemic. Kasi food is necessity eh. So in demand talaga yan. And we also have Lidge on board. Yan. Hi, Lidge. Hello. Kamusta po?
I'm just fine. I'm fine. How are you guys?
Yan.
Nag-rent pa ng hotel para lang dito sa webinar.
Yes.
Talaga.
Para maganda yung background.
Ayun. Thank you. Lidge pala is a growth manager of Taxumo. So both of them will be helping us tonight to answer your questions about business registration and tax. Yeah. Okay. So maybe we can start na for EJ. Ikaw ba yung magsa-start?
Yeah, sige, ako na.
Okay.
Hindi ba too early? Okay lang, we'll start early na lang.
Ayaw nga, no? 24 pa lang pala.
Sayang ba? Yung mga tao, wala pa.
Oo nga. Kasi mamaya baka paulit-ulit yung tanong, di ba? Yan.
Hindi na, okay lang naman. Pero baka lang sayang.
Oo.
Kasi yung
Kwento ka
start
ba?
ng talk ko very inspirational. Yes.
Max, very inspirational ba?
Very emotional. Hindi, joke lang.
Oo.
Pero, yeah. Pero up to you, Grace. I mean, if you want to start, I'm fine.
You're good. Okay. Wait lang. Share ko muna to sa ano namin. Sa group.
So, by the way, we have a special treat for Bailiwick, for Bailiwick users.
Oh, ayun.
That we'll share at the very end. So, di ba, Grace? Di ba? Talaga para
Surprise.
mag-stay. Oo.
Surprise yan. Ayun. Thank you so much for guesting tonight sa ano namin, sa episode ng aming webinar.
Sure. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, no problem. Kasi madami na mong problema dito sa group namin eh. Pero itong i-discuss natin ngayon is for a Philippine market lang, diba?
Yes.
So, is Taxumo for the Philippines lang? Hindi siya pwedeng outside?
Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. Yes. Actually, right now, yes, it's primarily made for the Philippine market. But of course, there are, we have partners. We are talking to some people in other regions. So hopefully something happens. But definitely, we're all Filipinos, so we want to make sure that the impact we want to create, we make it happen in the Philippines first of all. So,
Ayan, so hopefully in the future, pwede na rin.
Oo, may accent na ako pag gano'n.
Ayun. Abangan ko yan.
Hello. Hindi ako marunong mag-Thai accent.
Abangan ko yan. Ayan. Dumadami na yung
sa page ng Bailiwick, nakakagusto, modern sushi and maki. OMG, ang sarap. Gusto ko kumain.
Ayan. Yan yung class namin sa Bailiwick.
Bakit pala Bailiwick, Grace? Alam mo?
It's expert kasi. Kasi dati, naghahanap ako ng pang-domain ko. So, naghanap ako ng mga experts, mga ganyan. Yung mga ganun linya. So, yun, nag-pop up yung Bailiwick. And, yun, parang we invite yung mga experts in our industry, mga chefs and instructors in our industry. Parang best of the best ng Philippines to. Na to be one of our instructors. So yun.
Nice.
So we invite them and then they create online classes for our students.
Yung pala ibig sabihin ng Bailiwick. Ang kilala ko ng Bailiwick, the first.
Oo, yun. Oo. Siyempre,
So,
yung mga merong anak, kilala yun, di ba? Oo, alam na alam. Kaya nung sabi ko, ay, oo nga, no, parang, kaya pala Bailiwick yung name nung, doon sa Sophia the First. Oo, kasi alam niya lahat, parang ganon. He's an expert at everything. Parang ganon.
That makes sense. Who knew Sophia the First?
Yun. So, meron tayong mga dito. Audience. Ito si Chef Chona, rin siya. Alam ko Taxumo user din to si Chef Chona eh.
Wow, really? Thank you.
Yeah, she's one of our instructors sa Bailiwick. Yan.
Wow, nice. Thank you, Miss Chona.
Hi, Angelina. Hi, Sen. Hi, Rachel. Yan, 1 minute na lang, guys. Yan. Invite nyo na yung mga friends ninyo to join us in this webinar. So, just in case naman na hindi nyo matapos or hindi nyo you still have something to do, then we'll have this recorded naman and upload it in our YouTube site. Yun. Kaya you can go back to it. Okay? Pero syempre dapat tapusin ninyo kasi may surprise si Sir EJ mamaya para sa mga users natin. Exclusive lang 'yan para sa bailiwickers.
Pinaglaban ni Lidge yun. Ayaw ko nga
Oo.
pumayag sana, pero pinaglaban ni Lidge eh. So,
Ayun. Maraming salamat, Lidsha.
Pinas ko yun.
Okay. Okay, yan. 8:30 na. Sige. Well, let's start.
okay, sure.
Okay.
Okay, so hi everyone, good evening. So I'll be talking about business registration 101. And I'll be talking about, I'll guide you through like the basic concepts that you need to understand, how it all works. And then later on, we'll have an AMA session or an Ask Me Anything session. So if there's anything that you want to ask about business registration or about taxation, then, we'll allot time at the after this. We'll allot time after this for that. And we also invited one of our partner CPAs, si Luning Ning. And she is going to help us answer your questions. So now I'm going to be taking you through like how does business registration work. Maybe I'll be talking a little bit about the announcement of BIR and then yung rebuttal ni DTI. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So nasa na ba? Yon. Okay, but before we start, I wanted to play a little game, no? And these are the reasons why you wanna register or why you wanna legitimize your business. And just answer on the chat where you are, I think on YouTube or on Facebook, just answer. Pero the idea here is if you're familiar with the game 4 Picks 1 Word, buhay pa ba yun? Or panahon ko na yun? But anyway, 4 Picks 1 Word. There are 4 pictures and then there's like a phrase or a couple of words you have to guess. No? So in this case, I want you to guess. Ano tingin nyo ang nakasulat dito? This is one reason. Ayan, bilis. Nasagot ni Angelina is bigger client. Yes, you want to register because once you start getting bigger clients, that means you have to start issuing ORs. Normally, bigger clients also have a vendor accreditation process. And when you go through that, you have to provide certificates of registration and, documents, etc. that prove that you are a legit business that, they can work with, that they are not going to be afraid that you will suddenly disappear. So definitely that's one benefit of registering. Next, who can tell me what this is? Yan. So may picture ng mga bangko, may picture ng bahay, may picture ni Sian Lim, at may pirma. Who can tell me what this stands for? Ayun pala tawag, bailiwickers. So bailiwickers, who can tell me? Very good, yes. Thank you for your guesses. Angelina, Wiwai, and Senen. So yes, you are right. The answer is loan approval. So if you want to expand your business, you need to get leverage. You need to get a loan. Normally, hindi naman you need, but a loan helps you accelerate the growth of your business. All right? If you want to get a loan, you have to provide documentation that you are legit, that there is income that's being generated by the business. All right? And normally, that proof that you provide is done in the form of the forms you submit to the BIR. That's as official as you can get. Normally, as employees, ang bibigay natin is like a Form 2316, no? Or a certificate of employment from our employer. Pero if you're working for yourself, if you're a business owner and you're working for yourself, alam ka naman gumawa ka ng certificate of employment para sa sarili mo. So hindi na tatanggapin ng bangko. So if you want to get a loan, you have to provide official documentation in the form of returns, no? Tax returns. So that is one reason why you want to legitimize. Eto, who can tell me what this is? So may Statue of Liberty, may Eiffel Tower, may picture ng Mount Fuji, Osaka ba ito? And may passport. Who can guess what these two words stand for. Okay? Meron ba? Oh. Did we get disconnected? Oh. No. There we go. Yes, the answer. Sorry, I was checking if naputol kami. But yes, the answer is visa required, no? So definitely, again, dahil third world country tayo, pag gusto natin kumuha ng visa para bisitahin ang magagandang bansa ng mga first world countries, they will always require a proof of income. Why? Because they want to make sure na hindi ka pupunta doon at magti-TNT. Nakakaasar, di ba? Pero, the proof of income, or like for example, the proof of income you can provide if you're a business owner is your ITR, essentially. Okay? It's proof that this is how much I'm earning, and I don't need to live in your country because I'm earning in my country. No? So that's basically what you're trying to say if you have a proof of income. And that is, you're right, the answer is visa required. And lastly, who can guess what this is? This is not something you want. This is something you'd wanna avoid. Merong notice to the public, temporarily closed. May picture ng BIR office. Very, very familiar for us. Parang second home. And of course, may mga clues in the pictures and merong judge, may juez. Yes, thank you, Al. The answer is tax penalties. So, if you're filing your taxes, you can avoid tax penalties, no? Malapit na. Tax paralegal, muntik na. But yes, no, tax penalties, kasi, yun nga, as long as you're compliant with the regulatory requirements, then there is nothing to be afraid of. Something that might be interesting for you, we do have, we know of some people, freelancers and professionals, na when they went to the BIR to register their business, nalaman nila meron na silang penalty. Apparently, the client, parang alam ng BIR that they were getting an income. And BIR was able to do that because the BIR they're beefing up their data analytics department. And what that department does is it looks at the payouts and expenses and all of that of all companies na nagre-report. And then they see if nag-report or nag-report nga ba or nag-provide ba ng submission or ng filing yung mga ni-report na binayaran. No? So parang binabangga-bangga ni BIR. So yung mga kilala namin, when they registered, nalaman nila, ay may penalty na ako. So you wanna avoid that, no? Tax penalties. So these are the reasons: tax compliance, official receipts for bigger clients, you want an ITR for your bank loans, for your visa applications, and of course, if you don't have no tax holes, no penalties, no? So we want to do our duty, we want to leverage your registration, and we want to comply with taxes. Ang hashtag natin for today is don't be a tax hole, no? So yun yung ating hashtag for today. But I guess before that, no, and this is something that we haven't really prepared any slides for. Let me talk a little bit about the BIR and the DTI thing that happened. So the BIR recently came out with a circular saying na online sellers are supposed to register, and that if they register before July 31, any tax dues in the past that they had to pay, they can pay without penalties. Okay, so let's break that down, no? First of all, yung sinabi ni BIR na online sellers must register, that's not new. Everyone who engages in any sort of business or any source of income na hindi employment needs to register that source of income. They need to register their business. So hindi bago yun. Ang bago was the BIR's announcement na walang penalty pag mag-file ka for past dues. Okay, that's new. So if you look at it that way, it's a positive, no? Because that means mag-register kayo, yung mga penalties nyo, yung mga dapat na binayaran nyo before pala, exempted na yun, walang penalties, just pay it, no? So that's what the BIR is saying. Now the DTI one of the DTI people said na I think the DTI secretary Mon Lopez. I believe he said na hindi naman daw kailangan because if you're earning 250,000 or below, exempted ka. Okay. That is a very, very general statement. And there are conditions for you to not be taxed 250K. For example, if you have an online business but you are employed at the same time, wala ka nung 250K na consideration. All right? That means na you are taxed, period, for that income that you're generating from your business. So the other thing that you also may want to consider is that, the BIR, they're the ones who go after people. It's not DTI. BIR goes after people, and what they do is they actually place orders. This is what they do with Lazada sellers, for example. They will place an order, and then when they get the order na walang receipt, pe-penalize ka nila. Okay? That's one thing they do. They also do that with doctors. They will sit in the doctor's office, get a checkup, and then magbabayad sila. If walang OR, penalty agad. So that's one way of doing it. No? And the thing is, let's say the BIR orders from you and you're not able to provide the documentation you need to provide, and sabihin nila, oh, hindi mo to ginawa, this is required. And then if you say, sabi ni DTI, hindi pwede, hindi kailangan. Sabi ni BIR, ibang department yan. Kausapin mo yung DTI. Kung may penalty si DTI, sige, huwag kang magbayad. Pero may penalty si BIR. So, it's very, very tricky when you look at it that way. And the safer way of going about it is really just to register. Okay? Having said that, the BIR naman, the thing is, they want to see, ang sabi dun sa nabasa ko is they want to go after, or they want to make sure that, there's compliance, general compliance, before they go after the big ones. But normally naman, they will go after the big ones. And it's very dangerous to fall in that pitfall of what about TISMs, no? Hindi mo pwede sabihin, what about yung Pogo? What about yung ganyan? If there's something that you were not compliant with, then, unfortunately, that's that. You're not compliant with that, no? So that's the challenge that we have to know. That's unfortunately like the requirement of having a business in the Philippines. So having said that, I'm gonna share with you ngayon like who we are, no? So we're Taxumo, as I said, and we have a twofold mission. The first half of our mission is that we believe that the key to inclusive economic growth in the Philippines is small businesses. And what we want to do is we want to help you focus on why or how your business will succeed. And how do we do that? By removing the pains that are involved with business, particularly taxation at this point. So we're looking at other things that we want to help people with. But the idea there is that if we remove those painful, tedious things from your mind, then you'll be able to focus on your business. You're going to make it succeed. You're going to be able to hire more people. There's going to be more opportunities for all. Okay? Eventually, the vision that we have in mind is a Philippines wherein the Filipino doesn't have to leave the country to get a decent job. That's the idea. Kasi there's a very good job market in the Philippines. The other half of what we do is government innovation, basically. We're pushing the government to take on innovation. And we're doing that by showing them this is what it looks like. This is what innovation looks like. People don't avoid paying taxes. That's what we've seen. People will pay taxes because it's their duty. Just make it easy for them, and that's the idea that we have. No, we are making it easy for people, and because of that, the BIR accredited us, and we are an official partner of the BIR. All right, so now we go into the meat of the discussion on registration. Okay, so the first question you have to ask yourself is: do you want to register as a professional, as a sole prop? Do you want to register as a partnership with other people, or as a corporation? Okay, so those are the questions you have to ask. So first of all, let's consider sino ba yung mga ka-work mo depending on the different types of registration you have. A lot of you may not have heard of the professional registration before. Okay, and it's normal. A lot of us na hindi naman PRC licensed, ang alam natin is pag mag-isa ka lang, sole prop. Walang professional, di ba? Not necessarily, no? Hindi. Ang difference ng professional and sole prop is basically yung professional, usually they provide services. For example, people who provide like writing services from home, they can register as a professional, okay, a non-licensed professional. Doctors, architects who are licensed by the PRC, they can register as licensed professionals, but the process is essentially the same. So as a professional, what you do is you get what's called an occupational tax receipt if you're a non-licensed professional, or if you're a licensed professional, a professional tax receipt. You get any of the two depending on who you are, no, on what your like PRC status is. You get that from the LGU. Okay, so that's like para siyang cedula basically. So as a professional, you don't get a mayor's permit na. You just get that OTR or PTR. Okay? And then of course, you register with the BIR. Okay. Ang sole prop naman, you register with the DTI to reserve a trade name. You register with the LGU to get the mayor's permit, and regardless of kung ano yung business nyo, you will always get a sanitary permit, a health permit, check ng fire department na meron kayong enough fire extinguishers. That always happens regardless, no? So that's what the LGU will require. And then, of course, you'll have to work with the BIR also. You have to register with the BIR. Okay, so if you register as a partnership or a corporation, the difference is that you register it with the SEC instead of DTI. Okay, but you also go through the same motions with the LGU, with the mayor's permit. You get all of that as well. And of course, you can never avoid the BIR, no? So sabi nga nila, there are two things that you can never avoid: death and taxes. Okay, so yan. So totoo nga, BIR is always there regardless of what business you're gonna start, no? All right. So these are the requirements for a non-licensed professional or freelancer, no? And these are the requirements for a licensed professional. But let me go through this one lang so that you have an idea. Note that these requirements are also written in this link. So if you go to this link, txmo.co, parang shinorte na taxumo.co/requirements-NLP. So if you go there, you'll see a page that tells you like the process. Pero let's go through them one by one. The form numbers here, Form 1901, 1905, 0605. So Form 1901 basically stands for, that's the registration form. That's like the very first form you create, you write, no? Or you fill out. Form 1905 is a change of information form. Why do you need that? Because it is possible na, let's say yung business mo, you want to start it from home, right? So you're going to be a home-based business. But you are employed, let's say, for example, for us, we live in Taguig, but let's say you are employed in Makati. Okay? So if you are employed in Makati, that means kailangan mo munang ilipat yung TIN mo from Makati to your business address, to Taguig in my case. All right? To do that, you need to file a Form 1905 to the original RDO. Okay, so a lot of people might not be familiar with what an RDO is. RDO stands for Revenue District Office. So the BIR is essentially decentralized. Okay, the BIR is cut into different regional offices, and those offices are cut into Revenue District offices. Okay, for example, in Quezon City, I believe there are 4. In Makati, there are, I think, 2. Like that, no? So, naka-assign yung address mo to a specific RDO. So anyways, the idea there is that, yun nga, if you're gonna open a business, you have to make sure that your TIN is there. And if it's not there, you have to move it through the Form 1905. Okay. Next is the Form 0605. Ano yun? 0605 is like a generic payment form. So when you're gonna pay for your fees, you have to fill this out also and pay for it. Okay? Normally, there are no cashiers in the RDOs as far as I know. So normally you have to go to a partner bank, to an accredited bank to make the payment, no? So ganun siya. All right. And then occupational tax receipt, or in the case of professional licensed professionals, a professional tax receipt, no? So OTR or PTR. This is something you get from the LGU. So normally the LGUs don't really know what that is. So you kind of have to explain, and then nahanap nila sa baul nila somewhere. Oh, meron palang ganito. Okay. So that has happened to one of our clients before. So that's something, I think they're starting to get the hang of it naman. But yeah, but that's something that that you'll need to get from the LGU. Also, a clear scanned copy of your birth certificate. Okay, so you get that from the NSO helpline, I believe. A marriage certificate, if applicable. Okay, so hindi mo kailangan magpakasal to register your business. Okay? Just to be clear. So, kung hindi ka kasal, hindi mo kailangan. Also, you need to have a proof of billing. That's basically proof na yung nire-register mong address is nandun sa name mo. No? So, for example, if it's your home, then like your PLDT or Meralco address, as long as your name and address is on that bill, they will accept it. 3 copies of 2 valid IDs. So, photocopies, basically, title of property or lease contract. So, if you own the property, it's very easy. Pakita mo lang that you own the property, no? The title. But if you don't, then you have to provide like a letter from the landlord. Aside from the lease contract, a letter from the landlord saying that they know that you are registering. And they know that you are conducting business in that address. All right. Next is you also have to provide the copy of a client or a project contract. Now, the only reason why they ask for this is for people who, kasi hindi nila get sometimes what the business does. But I think in your case, for example, if you're home bakers, obviously they should know what that is, no? So you probably don't need that. And also a barangay clearance. So you need to get that. Normally, barangay clearance is something you have to get yourself. And that's basically proof of that you're an outstanding citizen of the barangay. And then you'll need the last 3, the SPA, Special Power of Attorney, Letter of Intent, Authorization Letter. They're required if you want someone else to do the processing for you. So you're like authorizing that person to do it. All right, so that's professional, and so that's like how to register as a professional, no? Now let's go into sole prop. Likely, if you're selling goods from your home, likely this is the registration that you'll need to have, sole prop registration. All right? Wala namang nagkakaiba. The only difference actually is the DTI certificate. Instead of OTR, PTR, you need that DTI certificate. Okay? So, the DTI certificate, you basically get a trade name and you tell the DTI kung ano yung scope ng business mo. Are you just barangay level? Are you city level? Are you regional? Or are you nationwide? No? So, kailangan mong specify yun dun sa DTI. You also have to be clear about that, no? Kasi that's something that the BIR checks. Normally, if online seller ka, the BIR always checks if you're nationwide. So, may ganun siya, no? So, yun. So, for example, you can deliver to, let's say, Cavite, no, your goods. Then, therefore, hindi ka na pwedeng regional. If that makes sense. Kailangan national ka na. Basically, of online ka, the safest one to get is a national scope. Okay? All right. Okay, now, when you register your business, you have to consider 2 things. The level of liability and like how many regulatory requirements do you want to work on, no? So, in terms of liability, so of course, if you register as a corporation, a corporation, that's like hiwala yung liability ng corporation from your personal liability. Why is that? Because a corporation is seen as a separate person in the eyes of the law. Ang tawag sa kanya, juridical person. Okay? Tayo natural person, ang corporation, juridical person. So basically, if the corporation gets a loan from the bank, and let's say hindi na nila mabayaran yung loan, or yung corporation, hindi niya na kaya bayaran yung loan, the bank cannot go after your personal assets. Okay? Even if you're the owner of the corporation. Why? Because the corporation is a separate entity from you. As opposed to, let's say you register as a sole proprietor, then, the personal assets, for example, umutang ka sa banko, then, if hindi mo mabayaran, the bank can go after your assets, no? Because you registered as a sole prop. Ang corporation, iba yung tin niyan sa tin ng mga shareholders. Pero ang sole prop, yung tin ng business is the same tin as the person. Okay? So, ganun siya. Hence, liability is like, ikaw yon, it's the same person. Now, the flip side or the other dimension you want to look at is regulatory requirements. Okay? If you're opening a corporation, there are a lot of requirements that you have to comply with. Okay? Right now, we're actually fixing the compliance of Taxumo with SEC and all of that. Ang dami, no? So, buhay na buhay ang Lala Move sa amin kasi padala kami ng documents sa isa't isa. Lahat kailangan may pirma. Every time you open a bank account, kailangan meron kayong board resolution, meron kayong secretary certificate. Bawat galaw nyo may ganun, no? Aside from that, there's a lot of compliance that goes with having, with opening a corporation, and of course with maintaining that corporation. You have to submit regular reports to BIR, of course, and of course to SEC, may extra. As opposed to sole prop or professional, um, the the government considers kasi na alam nila na you're just one person, likely. You're probably just one person, so they make things easy for sole prop and professionals. They also give them a lot of different options, no, as individuals. For example, if you've heard of the 8% income tax rate, that's only available to individuals. And it makes taxation a lot easier for these people. So, in fairness naman to the government, they are giving them options to make it easy because they want to promote opening businesses, no? And yun nga, that's like the two dimensions you have to look at, no? So there's a lot less requirements if you're sole prop and professional. There's a lot more requirements if you're corporation, but of course, liability is a question you have to answer. In our experience, we know a lot of businesses that have closed because of regulation, meaning ang dami nilang kailangan i-comply, such that the person or the business owner, ayaw ko na. Ba't ko ba ito ginawa in the first place? Hindi na ako masaya. Maraming ganon. Or nasistress sila kasi ang daming requirements na kailangan nilang habulin. And that stress takes away from, the reason why they open their business in the first place. So ang advice namin normally to people is don't be afraid to open. Mag-sole prop ka muna, no? And then if mag-grow yan, later on, if you want to get funding, then start a corporation. Pero a sole proprietorship is not in itself naman like a lesser thing, no? Because like I believe it was Bayo or Camiseta, one of those. They were like a sole prop for the longest time. Lamoyan was a sole prop for the longest time, no? Even before, nung kilala na sila, they were still a sole prop, no? And then they just converted to become a corporation because I think they, you have to do that if you want to be in the stock market, stuff like that. No? So yon. So consider that. That's definitely a consideration you want to make. Yeah, and actually that's it. That's all I had for registration. I hope that answered your questions. And I think what we can do now, Grace, is we can also open the floor to any questions that people may have.
Okay. Thank you for that, EJ.
Mm-hmm.
So, bale, so for us home bakers, no, you advise na sole prop muna. And then, so the first step is to get a DTI. So, register muna do sa DTI, ano ba sila? dti.gov.ph, tama ba?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, merong links doon to the actual registration portal. And then registered, you'll have to go to the branch nearest you or something. But pipiliin mo yun eh. And then, ito pala tip dyan, no? Pag DTI, pag online, it will allow any name. For example, si Ginger, for example, Manila Workshops siya, di ba? So, na-register niya online Manila Workshops. Pero when she went to the DTI office, ang sabi sa kanya, masyadong general yung name ng business mo, Manila Workshops. So yung business name niya is actually GPA Events. Kaya businesses, mapapansin mo, usually pangalan ng tao.
Tama.
Maarte yung DTI about it. So even though you're able to reserve the name dun sa online, normally when you go to the DTI office, I would recommend you have like a list of 10 names. The last being like your name plus food services, something like that. And the reason is that if you don't have like a ready list of names, paalisin ka sa pila, pababalikin ka another day. So handa mo na yung mga pangalan.
Correct. Bali ako na-experience ko rin yan before eh. Kasi I'm a home baker din. So that's where I started before Bailey Week. So ako mismo nag-register din ako directly sa DTI. Dati wala pa silang online noon. So I have to go to their office talaga. So na-experience ko yung pabalik-balik. So yun nga. So sabi mo nga, be prepared with the names that you want for your company. So register as a sole proprietorship. And then, so you mentioned kanina na advisable na national yung i-ano nila. Tama ba?
Just for simplicity's sake. Because pag sinabi mong online seller ako,
Oo.
ang concept nila of an online seller is Lazada. Okay?
Yeah.
So normally pag sinabi mo yun, sabihin nila, bakit hindi ka nationwide? Wala, balik ka. Paalisin ka agad. So just to make things easy for yourself, mag-register na kayo as nationwide.
Okay, yan, tama yan. Okay, so register for sole proprietorship, then national, and then ano pa, next step. Nandun na rin yung babayaran, no, online. Makikita na nila rin doon sa website.
Oo. Yes, oo. Alam ko parang meron doon, tas babayaran mo through a bank partner. Parang ganun.
Okay. So for online sellers, ano yung category na pipiliin? Yan. So we have a question here from Chef Chona.
Category, you mean for sa BIR? Like ano yung industry?
Sa DTI. Sa DTI pa lang.
Like ano ba yung, like when you say category, yung ba yung nationwide, gano'n?
Hindi, kasi meron yung, or alam ko meron yung online seller, online na category. Kung anong industry ka. So, parang ganun.
Yung industry, not sure if they have online selling there kasi the last time I checked, parang Diyos ko, wala pang internet yata nung panahon na yun. Pero piliin the industry that's closest to you. Like for example, normally like people who provide writing services, they would write, writer, yung pinaka-closest. If food, then look for like a food service type industry that you can associate with.
Okay. Tapos, ano bang questions dito? From Sen Nen, how about for the title of property since I'm just living with the parents? Ano yung pwede?
The title of the you can give them the title of the property with your parents' name, and then your like you give them a letter from your parents saying I my offspring to do business in residence I own, ganon.
Tama. So, ako naman, I live with my in-laws. So, ganun nga yung ginagawa ko. Binibigay ko sa kanila yung title ng house na to. So, under my father-in-law's name. So, yun. So, pwede naman yun. Kahit hindi yung sayo. Yun.
Yun.
Ito naman. From Ovenly Delights, can I change my registered name sa DTI?
I think you can. If not change it, you can actually get more trade names. Our partner CPA is also here, so maybe she can also help answer. Baka mas alam niya din yung some of those questions. But I believe you can naman.
Sige. Okay. Let's just invite Miss Luningning. She's one of our partner CPAs ng Taxumo. Just put her in. Hi, Miss Luningning.
Hi. Sorry, I'm late.
Okay lang, glad you made it.
Oo nga, no? Purple. Anyway.
Maybe baka mas Luningning yung question on the pwede bang palitan daw yung trade name sa DTI,
Trade name sa DTI? Parang to completely papalitan. Parang alam ko dapat ika-cancel mo muna yung existing Yes. Kasi di ba since yung DTI for sole proprietorship, di ba? So parang itong business na to, nakalink to sa name mo. So kung papalitan mo siya, either kasi parang ni-retire mo yung business na yun, or I'm not really sure if pwede yung talagang i-update mo siya. Pero I think totally parang dapat i-retire mo muna yung old one, then you use the new. Lalo na kung same business.
Yeah, kung same yung industry or type of business, no? Pero kunyari, freelancer ka and then meron kang kiosk on the side, pwede kang kumuha ng bago, di ba?
Yes.
So, bale, you have to register a new name para doon. So, kung if you're registered na sa...
Sorry,
Sige pa.
cut ko lang. Tsaka kasi I think magkakaroon din siya ng implication dun sa ibang business registration mo eh. Like your mayor's permit and your BIR registration. Kasi di ba kinakapture niya rin yung business name doon.
Yes.
Kailangan mo baguhin lahat. Hassle.
Oo.
Yes.
So lalo
Hindi
na
ka
kung
mo
meron
lang.
kang lalo na kung meron ka ng mayor's permit and everything, kailangan i-retire mo lahat 'yon before registering a new one. Yan.
Yes.
Okay. So, question from Rachel. I think one of the top concerns of home bakers, new online sellers, is the cost of registering and the time it takes to finish all the requirements. So, can you give us an idea of the cost or time required?
I think in terms of cost, and maybe you can add to this na lang, Luningning. In terms of cost, the cheapest that I've seen in terms of like yung payouts mo to the government is like around almost 10K, mga around 8 to 10K, mga ganun. That includes na yung mga BIR registration, yung mga DTI, lahat, all of that. Yun. In terms of time it takes, the fastest I've seen is 2 weeks. And the longest I've seen is 3 months. So, depende, I think, on like timing. Kunyari, normally, pag start of the year, marami silang hinahandle, mga ganon. So, parang kartihan din siya. It ranges from that, no?
So, Ms. Lunini, in this new circular ng BIR, hanggang DTI lang ba and then BIR yung dapat silang mag-register, wala nang mayor's permit o kailangan pa talaga?
Actually, based kasi on the new announcement or new memo and the new checklist din, walang mayor's permit. But I think, actually galing ako kanina BIR in Cavite. So, doon, medyo inaway pa ako nung mali daw yung checklist na dala ko. Sabi ko, no, yun yung recent na announcement nyo. So, hindi na naman sila updated, which is normal na nangyayari. So, ang advice nila sa akin, maaring yung registration with BIR won't require the mayor's permit, but the LGU might still require it. So parang halimbawa, magkaroon sila ng inspection or something, they might require it. Pero actually medyo vague yung answer nila sa akin kanina. Pero I think with the new memorandum kasi, the idea is parang, sige, we will lessen the requirement basta makapag-register ka lang. Parang to encourage people to register actually.
And just to add, no, if you're sole prop, you always have to get a mayor's permit. The RMC just said BIR doesn't look for it anymore. But you will still need to get a mayor's permit.
Yes.
So yun siya.
Okay, so kailangan pa rin talaga ng mayor's permit.
Tsaka kasi yung mayor's permit kasi kumbaga may jurisdiction yung LGU mo, which is sila yung taxes doon, yung di ba yung mayor's permit na annual na binabayaran natin. So kay BIR naman yung income taxes, yung income tax mo. So parang may kanya-kanya silang jurisdiction din. So maaring iba lang yung requirement ng BIR, pero it does not automatically mean na wala na yung kay LGU.
Yes.
Okay. So for our viewers, you still have to register you still have to get mayor's permit sa municipality kung nasan kayo. Yan. Okay. So, we have this one question. How true na 250K per year sales lang ang may tax?
Ayan. Sige. I think I answered that a little a while ago. Pero, and maybe meron kang insights after. Pero basically, yun nga, I think the 250K, there are certain conditions that will make it, like an exemption for you. Kasi for example, there's an income tax rate called 8% flat income tax rate. If you are also mixed income, meaning may employment ka and you're doing that 8% rate, wala ka ng 250K na threshold. So, nagbabayad ka pa rin for your business. So, and normally naman kasi, when they say you're exempted, that means you don't pay. but it still means you still file. Okay? Any missed filing, kahit zero dapat yung binayaran mo. Basta na-miss mo yung filing, automatic 1,000 pesos yun. So I think that's probably what they mean by exempted, but I don't know, maybe you have insights also, Liningning.
Yeah, siguro to add to that, kasi again, tama yung sabi ni EJ, depende kasi on what tax you use, di ba? Kasi meron yun nga, there's a thing called graduated tax, there's a thing called 8% flat rate. So the graduated tax based siya on your net income, meaning your sales less your expenses, right? So pwedeng you earn 1 million, but you have 800,000 worth of costs and expenses. So ang bottom line mo doon is 200,000, and you're purely on business. So you may be earning 1 million, pero your net income is below, so wala kang income tax. But your gross income might be subject to percentage tax.
Oh, right.
So business
Oh,
tax,
I mean,
that's one. So when you use naman the 8%, you don't have the business tax, di ba? Exempt ka sa percentage tax. But yun nga, yung 250,000, provided na purely business ka, madideduct mo si 250,000. So if you're below 250,000, maybe walang income. Pero if you exceed the 250,000, you might be taxed with excess. And going back to sinabi ulit ni EJ, pero if you're employed, wala na si 250,000 kasi ginamit na siya dun sa graduated sa employment mo. Kasi yung compensation income is always subject to the graduated tax. So again, it depends on what tax is applicable to you or what you applied for. So it's
Okay.
valid.
Okay.
So those are the scenarios.
So for our students kasi, ginagawa nila tong part-time. So they have this work, as in sa company talaga. They have work, tapos on weekends, tsaka sila nagbe-bake, nagbebenta. So yun yung on the side nila. So kailangan ba nilang register kapag ganon?
Ayan, good question.
Yeah, good question.
According to the law,
Yes.
no? Yes, unfortunately, yes. Kailangan i-register lagi. Especially since this is on Facebook. We love it. So yes, it is required. Basta may business ka, any other source of income, you always have to declare that and register that.
Okay. So parang sabi nga ni Feliza dito, wala talagang bracket. So dapat anyone with a business dapat mag-register. Tama. Yeah.
Oo, kaya nga parang feeling ko nang gulo lang yung yung bagong announcement. Parang feeling ko lalo. Kasi like learning yung knows di ba? For people who know it works, parang hindi naman study yun. Ganun yung impression ng mga tao.
So parang
actually, yung sabi ni EJ kanina, hindi na siya kung tutusin new. Medyo they want to emphasize lang ngayon. Kasi siguro, it triggers many resorted to online selling. Medyo, medyo may parang tinitrigger na particular, may tina-target na market yung announcement Or parang in mababaw na term, parang nagpaparinig sila, oy, yung mga nag-online sell dyan, register na kayo. Diba? Parang gano'n
Tama. So, nothing new naman pala to. So, kasi nga, dapat naman talaga, everyone with a business, dapat mag-register ka. So, kahit na anong business pa yan, diba? So, dapat i-declare mo. Yan. So, nothing new. Ang new yung online seller. New yung walang penalty. Oo nga.
Bago kang register, yung mga penalties na dapat sa tax due mo before, sabi nila, wala nang penalty yan. Yun yung bago. So feeling ko na-hurt yung BIR kasi sabi nila, huwag na alamin
Oo. Yun nga Kasi parang yung point kasi ng mga online sellers ngayon is parang yun na nga lang yung way nila to cope up with this pandemic problem. Tapos nun, tataksan pa. Diba? So parang kawawa naman. So yun. Pero there are many advantages naman, 'di ba? Na kapag registered ka sa BIR and if you have your mayor's permit, 'di ba? So, ano yung mga advantages na yun? Parang hindi naman sila masyadong ma-dishearten na parang nakakaloka naman na parang feeling kasi nila ang laki ng babayaran nila. So, can you give us some insights kung paano yun?
Ayan, sige. I'll start, Ningning. In terms of like the benefits, so yung napag-usapan ng 4 picks 1 word, so like those are some benefits. Aside from that, yung mga ayuda ng gobyerno, yung mga small business wage subsidy, mga ganyan, they will give it to people who are registered, mainly because those are the people they have data on. They won't know na nagbi-business ka, and they won't know that they're supposed to help you because you're not registered. So there are programs like that, no? Aside from that, I think this also like sort of like is a question that's sort of asked on society in general. Magiging deep lang ako sandali, I'm sorry. The question kasi is like, are we as a society, like, are we going to choose to pay people? Kasi mangyari dyan, sige, if I'm gonna register, then that means I'm probably gonna charge more. Kasi di ba may taxes na dyan, nababayaran, charge ko more. So ngayon, tayo as consumers, are we gonna are we gonna support businesses who are properly registered, who are doing things by the book, who are doing things correctly, or are we still going to support people who are cheaper pero they're not registered? You know, so like society, that's sort of like the equation we have to balance. I mean, tayo ba, are we willing to sacrifice a little so that we make sure that we are, you know, basically tumatangkilik tayo dun sa mga doing things right. So, you know, that's sort of the question.
Tama. So, yun. So, parang no choice pala tayo dito. kung gusto mo, kung titingnan mo. Pero, ito, may question na naman dito na, what if naka-register na ako sa DTI dati? Tapos, may penalty ba siya ngayon? Pag hindi pa siya naka-register sa BIR?
Kung matagal. Yes, kung magiging basis kasi nila doon is kailan mo ni-register siya kay DTI. I believe, I think parang 30 days dapat kasi ma-process mo na siya kay BIR. Provided din na wala ka pang mayor's permit. Pero kung may mayor's permit naman, ang basis nila is yung release ni or yung application mo ng mayor's permit. Pero if you can provide a mayor's permit, they will base it on your DTI registration. Di kumbaga doon magka-count yung penalty nila, yung interest.
So the person who asked that question, para sa kanya yung RMC, BIR.
Oh, yeah.
Yan yun.
Yeah, pero yun nga, I think yung ngayon, with the provision ngayon, so parang sige, mag-register ka lang, i-waive ko yung penalty mo. Yeah.
So, pasok siya doon sa, walang penalty. Tama ba?
Oo, yes. Basically. Kumbaga parang i-compute na, ito yung mga income mo dati pa. Dapat nagbayad ka ng dito, pero sige, wala na lang penalty. Magiging ganon.
Bali yung penalty lang yung mawi-waive, diba? Pero yung sales mo, yung mga sales mo before, yun yung babayaran mo. Tama?
Babayaran mo yung tax, yes. Oo.
They are encouraging na i-declare mo yung previous period na sales mo without the imposition ng penalty.
Okay. So, yan. We have a question from Brianna. Yun po ba tinatawag na micro-business? Pasok po ba doon, mga online sellers?
So pag sabi mong micro-business, parang iba kasi yun micro-business basically means that you're starting the business with less than 3 million pesos in assets. That's like the technical definition of a micro-business. So, pwede kang online seller pero you have 10 million in assets, you know. So, hindi siya mutually exclusive.
So, hindi siya pasok sa online sellers? Ibang siya? category? Parang
Hindi,
gano'n?
hindi. You can be both.
Mhm.
So, parang iba, parang sinabi mong, babae ako at scientist.
Mm.
Parang walang connect. Parang gano'n.
Ah.
So, ang micro, basically, iba yan. Ibang classification yan. It only means that you have assets of less than 3M. Pero iba pang question to answer kung online seller ka o hindi. Yun.
Mm. So parang hindi sila related.
Oo, parang gano'n. Oo.
Okay.
Parang si Mark Zuckerberg, no? Online si Facebook, pero third richest man ba siya? So, hindi siya
Oo.
micro.
Si
So,
paring
parang
Mark.
ganon. Yes.
Oo nga.
Okay. So question from Awil, do we still need to register even seasonal lang yung business? So yun. So yes, 'di ba? Yes yung sagot dyan. So even seasonal lang yung business, yes yung sagot doon.
Oo, ito lang yan guys like ang being a business owner means you're always taking risks. Sa totoo, it's a risk game lagi. You always cost and benefit analysis. You always do that when you're making business decisions. Registering, I would argue, is also a business decision. So if you feel na, sige, the risk I can take, let's do this. Edi, it's up to you. It's your call. But the law can go after you if mahanap ka nila, di ba? So that's like sort of the challenge or the sort of the risk you have to balance. Yeah.
Okay. Question from Rachel. Paano po yung sinasabi ng circular na you have to file for past transactions? So parang yung questions yan, kasi mga home bakers nga kami, di ba? So hindi naman kami mga accountants. So wala naman kaming knowledge when it comes to that. So paano yun? Paano namin i-file yung mga past, previous transactions, mga ganyan?
Yeah.
How do we go about that?
Well, definitely you can get the services of like CPAs, like Ning. They can help guide you through the whole process, walk you through everything, take care, like hold your hand through everything. Taxumo is also a tool that's designed for that. So, if you it's up to you kung ano yung nag-make sense for you na option eh. Like for example, if you wanna, kasi like how we design Taxumo is it's income and expenses. You just enter your income, enter your expenses. The system will compute how much yung juice mo, and then you can pay there. We also, ginawa na namin optional yung penalties. So kung alam nyo na hindi dapat kayo ma-penalize, i-take off nyo, tanggalin nyo para walang penalty. Ganon. So you can do that. So that's how Taxumo works. But yun nga. But if you want someone to like hold your hand throughout the process, then like an expert like Luning Ning can definitely help you.
Okay.
We have a service actually in Taxumo called Taxumo Consult. So if you have any questions, you can actually book time with our partner CPAs, one of them being yan.
Ayun. So yun yung maganda sa Taxumo. Kasi I've tried it before, and yun nga, you just have to enter your sales and your expenses. Tapos yun na, babayaran na. Sila ng everything will be done online na, 'di ba? So if you still have a problem typing in your sales and expenses and you want to have a consult, then you can contact Taxumo. You can just go to taxumo.com. Yan. Ito. Question from Janet. Ask lang po, ma'am, need po ba kumuha ng BIR kahit barangay permit lang po ang DTI? What's this? Ayun. So, ang kailangan natin is DTI, tapos mayor's permit, and then BIR. Okay? Yun. So, yun yung dapat. From Ernie Floor, you still need to prepare to print for your official receipt after you have registered. Right? Yun. So,
saan to? Ay, sorry. Ano yung question?
Yes,
kailangan mo magpa-print ng booklets ng mga official receipt. Yes, that's part of the registration.
Yes.
Kasama yun dun sa nabanggit kong cost na like 8 to 10,000. Kasama na yun doon.
Yun. Kasi sa registration, so kailangan ng DTI, tapos after ng DTI, mayor's permit, and then BIR, tapos after mo mag-register sa BIR, kailangan mo magpa-print ng receipts, diba?
Actually,
Yan.
part siya nung BIR registration process. Kasi like now, parang kailangan most RDOs at least na na-encounter ko, sabay nilang ni-release yung certificate of registration and yung authority to print. So parang pag hindi mo naayos yung sa parang nakaselect ka ng print nung preferred mong printer and you have the layout of the OR, hindi rin nila minsan ni-release yung POR. I mean, it varies depending on RDO, pero many RDOs implement that.
Kasi sa stamp nila yung parang first page. Di ba may gano'n Lining? Sa stamp nila yung first page. Sila eh.
Yes.
Oo. Then they have to prepare yung tawag doon, yung books. Book of accounts, yung mga ganon, diba?
Register kayo sa BIR, bumili na kayo ng books sa National. Kasi
true. Sa National.
Oo. Yun, kasi
Sabi
kailangan
kanina
yung...
narinig ko sa 300 pesos yung china-charge nila dun sa Cavite. Binili ko lang yung ledger and journal ng 29 pesos each So grabe talaga. Sabi ko, nagulat talaga. Siyempre, bagana yung calculator sa utak ko. Parang sabi ko talaga, negosyo. Promise. Even the ORs, even the ORs, I suggest you look for a printer on your own. Kasi yung mga parang ka-tie up nila inside the RDO, they usually charge, ang laki ng charge. Ang average na charge nila doon is around 120 to 150 per booklet and minimum of 10 booklets. So that's 1.2 to 1.5. Yung pinagpapagawan ko dito sa in-endorse, hindi naman. May pinagpapagawan kasi ako, like yung official receipt, yung standard lang na official receipt. I get it for 65 or 70 pesos per booklet. So wala pang 1,000 yung 10 booklet. Malaki. Tapos makita ko yung nandun kanina, yung nandun sa Cavite, parang yung partner nila, hindi naman yung kinukuhanan ko. Pero dito rin sa San Pedro, ang dami sa San Pedro eh. Even yung nasa Taguig, San Pedro rin yung nila doon. So, pero I suggest, kung makakahanap kayo, kasi meron naman kay BIR dun sa website nila, yung list ng printer. So, pwede kayo mag-search yung malapit sa inyo.
Diretso na.
Kasi I think, baka yung kay BIR, most likely, baka may cut nila doon. Kasi parang naglalaro talaga sa ganung range eh. Yung range nila. So,
ang pera.
Diba? So, tapos yun nga, yung ledgers, bumili na lang tayo sa National.
Yeah, tama.
300 pesos for book.
Sponsored to by National, Grace. Next time.
Dapat, no? So, kapag pupunta kayo sa BIR, dapat meron na kayo ng ledger para sa book of accounts ninyo. So, you need 2, di ba? You need 2 for your sales and expenses. Tapos nun, yung sa receipt, 4 na ba? 4?
Depende. Yung iba 2, yung iba 4.
RDO.
Okay. Yun.
Tagig they require agad automatic 4 pag non-VAT.
Grabe naman, 4.
Yes. Pero for some, at least 2. Kasi nga for sales and your receipt.
Oo, sales lang yun. Sales and expenses lang.
Pero better ask na lang your RDO.
Okay. So, paano nila malalaman yung kung saan sila RDO nakakasama? Nasa website rin ba yun ng BIR?
Good luck.
Kailangan nilang i-validate dun. I-validate nila. Halimbawa kung employed sila before, probably yan, yung 10 nila nandun sa kung saan lugar yung employer nila. Like, madami yan, Makati, Taguig, mga offices. Pero I mean, kung saan yung last na employment mo, probably nandoon siya. Then you can check. Pwede naman yun actually parang may validation sila doon. Type lang yung PIN and actually makikita. Kahit saan RDO ka magpunta, makikita nila kung nasaan yung PIN mo.
Okay.
Dahil COVID, subukan yung tumawag. Yung sa BIR, may mga RDO doon. May phone number. Kung makapasok kayo, pwede yung tanong, minsan sinasagot nila kung
Minsan.
Yes, minsan kasi, halimbawa, di ba nagpa-transfer, tapos minsan, pina-follow up ko kasi minsan, halimbawa, yung client, like yung ibang endorsement sa akin, Tapos nagpa-transfer pa daw. So parang, di ba, bago mo ma-register, kailangan mag-effect muna dun sa ano. So minsan tinatawagan ko, ay, ano na po ba? Okay na ba yung transfer dyan? Tapos bigay mo lang yung PIN, ma-check naman nila eh. Kasi parang nandun yung sabi.
Okay na, life hack. Nice one, Luningning. Tama.
Oo. Kasi itong BIR, hindi pa sila centralized no? Dapat kasi makikita na nila lahat ng info natin Pero since hindi pa sila centralized, they based on RDO. So kung kunwari yung nandun ka sa kabilang RDO, tapos lumipat ka ng bahay, ipapatransfer mo pa yun no? Tama ba?
Actually ngayon, yung rule yung rule na nila is, lalo na for nagbe-business, ang RDO muna dapat is on your residence. Kasi di ba before, if nag-work ka sa Makati, tapos later on lumipat ka ng job, you transferred in Taguig or in Muntinlupa, transfer ka na naman. So, parang siguro to minimize yung transfer, kasi dami talagang pumipila sa BIR for that stamping. Parang inano na nila, yung PIN mo should be registered in the RDO where you reside. Parang to minimize yung palipat-lipat na parang kahit magpalipat-lipat ka ng trabaho or magpalipat-lipat ng branch yung business mo, your PIN is mas possible kasi na mas permanent yung sa place of residence mo So, ayun. I think they just implement that parang late last year.
Tama.
Okay. So, dapat so magta-transfer ka lang kung magta-transfer ka ng bahay. Tama ba? Doon ka magta-transfer ng RDO. Yan. One questions. So kapag mag-register sila, kailangan din ng mga health and sanitation permits, fire permit, kahit na online seller ka lang. Tama?
Totoo. Kaya may 4 fire extinguisher sa bahay.
Oo.
Register.
Fire extinguisher talaga hinahanap ng
Oo.
Nag-i-inspect talaga sila for the fire extinguisher.
Oo. Ako naman, 2 yung fire extinguisher ko dito.
On your Tsaka I think on your case, di ba, mostly sa inyo, you're into baking, into food handling. Mas lalong they require yung sanitary permit.
Oo, tama. So yun nga, we're into food handling, safety, sanitation, mga ganyan. Para sa akin, dati, nagbe-bake nga ako. Sabi ko parang extra expense lang yan, yung mga fire extinguisher, tapos nag-aas pa ng smoke detector, tapos kung ano-ano pang in-inspect nila dun sa bahay namin, pati yung mga, yung mga pest control, yung mga ganon. So, sabi ko dati, extra expense naman yan. Pero nung nagawa ko naman lahat, parang okay rin siya, kasi we're handling food So, tapos yung mga fire extinguisher, needed rin siya talaga. So, if ever na magkaroon ng problem, syempre, naka-standby na yun sa kitchen mo, di ba? So, okay rin siya talaga. Tapos nun, they monitor din yung mga pest control. So, kahit nasa bahay lang tayo, dapat nagpapa-pest control din tayo. Yun. So, yun naman yung kagandahan nun. Hindi yung hahayaan lang natin yung kitchen na gano'n. So, dapat sanitize pa rin.
So, I guess that's one benefit, no? If bibili ka sa online seller, alam ka na register kasi chinek ng LGU na malinis ang kusina niya, no?
Tama. Tama yan.
Protection din yun.
Ano pa ito? Paano if I like my case? Read nga po dito sa kay Felisa.
Meron na. Ito, paano po if like in my case, meron na akong TIN naka-register under my name for PUJ, need pa ba ulit to apply another TIN for my home baking part-time job? Ano naman siya, ang TIN, how it works is, di ba nga, kung individual ka, isa lang ang TIN mo dapat. Hindi ka pwede magkaroon ng iba-ibang TIN. Ang magkakaroon ka is a branch. magkakaroon ka ng, di ba, may branch ka na. So yung main mo, pwedeng yung PUJ. So yun yung kunyari, 123, 123, 123, 000. Tapos mag-open ka nung for your home baking, magiging 123, 123, 123, 001. So yung may branch siya. Normally, ang reporting mo, nakakonsolidate dun sa isa. Dun sa 000. So lahat yung kumbaga yung lahat ng income from the different branches normally reported dun sa 000.
Yes.
So,
For
magkakaroon
business
siya ng
and
branch.
income tax, naka-consolidate siya. Usually, yung naka per COR lang, I believe yung registration fee. Parang per COR siya.
Kasi hiwalay na rin.
Pero yung mga business
Okay. So, parang ang dami nating i-report dito, no? Mas maganda talaga kung dati kasi ako lang yung nagre-report ng for my business. So, nakakaloka talaga siya. Nung ako lang kasi ikaw mismo yung magfa-file eh. Pero if you have allotted money for your accountant, then better na i-transfer na lang doon kasi sakit sa ulo. Yan. So for the memo mentioned, need to declare the previous sale without the penalties. Then since hindi naman umabot for sure na 250K yung sales, so meaning wala pa ring babayaran na tax. Meron babayaran to, di ba?
I think people kasi ang concept nila of tax is income tax. Yun lang. As Luningning said, may iba-ibang taxes, may sales tax na nasa LGU. Tapos meron din, kasi kunyari, merong VAT and non-VAT, percentage tax, no? So, iba pa yun. So, yung 250K na exemption, mostly, it's just for income tax. Pero there are other tax types that you will comply with na walang ganong exemption.
Okay. Question for Miss Ethel. Can we have contact details of Miss Luningning just in case we need her expertise?
Oh, we actually have that as a service, no?
Actually, in Taxumo, naka-flash din yung mukha. Naka-flash din yung mukha ko doon. The one na minention ni EJ na service, the Taxumo Consult. So, nasa website din siya ni Taxumo. So, hindi lang naman ako, some other accountants din. Parang consultation siya, you book with us, then i-check ng customer service nila yung availability, then if mag-agree sa time, so magkakaroon ng parang call, one-on-one call, for 45-minute call yon. So, whatever your concern with, hindi lang naman actually tax, even business registration related na questions, pwedeng i-consult.
Okay. Yan. So if you want to contact Ms. Luningning and other CPAs, if you want to get a consult, just go to taxumo.com. So meron silang service doon that they offer for consult. So mostly naman yung mga questions dito kasi yung ito kay Jasmine, paano po ba kung yung nature ng business is food, plant, and other goods, need po ba i-register? So yun. So yes, yung sagot dyan. Lahat ng business dapat registered. Regardless kung part-time ka ba or full-time. So dapat lahat registered. Yun.
So I guess siguro just to add to that one, Grace, the question is, iba ba yung registration nun? I have registrations na ni-require ng RDO na iba-iba. But I also have seen registrations na may mga flash lang yung industry. So I guess depende kung sino makausap mo sa RDO. No?
Yes, true. Sa RDO, pansin ko sa BIR, wala sila talagang standard. Depende if they release, halimbawa, yun nga, memo, depende sa RDO kung paano nila i-administer yon, kung anong pagkakaintindi nila. So,
kombinasyon nila.
Kaya sa akin, yun. Kaya sa akin, minsan, parang una ko pa rin ina-advise, ask your RDO. Kasi it's parang, number of books. Dito sa RDO niya to, 2. Sa isang RDO, 4. So, So, since yung RDO mo yung possible mag-penalty sa'yo if ever magka-problem, so might as well refer mo na lang kung paano nila ina-administer or paano nila ina-implement yung mga rules na yun.
Yes. So yun, iba-iba sila ng press release. So bawat RDO, iba-iba. So better talk to you, go to your RDO and ask kung sino yung makakausap nyo doon. So kung ano yung RDO na yun, iba-iba rin sila nang sasabihin. Yun.
Just to add to that, Grace, no, tama naman yun. But that's something that we're actually addressing with Taxumo. We work directly with the head office. So normally, we have some clients na, yung RDO nila have some specific RDO specific requirements, or kung RDO hindi daw ma-verify yung payment, na-verify namin kasi we're working directly with the head office. So improvement we wanna like create in the country. It doesn't have to be like this, diba? And this is what like what we're pushing.
Oo. So, buti na lang meron Taxumo, parang yun yung official na na latest release from BIR mismo, 'di ba? Hindi yung kung ano-anong sinasabi kasi meron na sinabi yung BIR head pero hindi pa napapasa sa mga tao nila doon sa RTO. So hindi pa sila lahat updated, 'di ba? 'Yon.
Paglapit yan. Kaya namimingatan. Sama ng loob.
Normally happens.
Oo. Yun nga yung nakaka-frustrate doon kasi parang ano ba, sinabi na nga tapos hindi mo pa rin alam. Parang mas updated ka pa kaysa doon sa taga BIR do sa RDO mo, 'di ba? Okay. So, share ko lang to no. Dati kasi may sinearch ako before doon sa DTI kung anong category ba yung sa online store. Kasi ako we're a corporation now. So under SEC kami. And I sell yung mga physical products. And aside from online classes, meron rin kaming physical products. So kapag yung sa DTI naman, if you're registered, meron dong category na marketing and online store. So parang in the business name descriptor, meron dong advanced search. And then section and division niya is under group and class, merong other retail sale not in stores, stalls, or markets. Retail trade not in stores, stalls, or markets. Yan. Tapos merong subclass na retail sale via internet. Yon. Tapos nun yung descriptor niya is online shop. Yon. So meron yun sa DTI when you register. Yon. So medyo kailalim-laliman pa siya ng subclass ganyan. Kasi dati others lang ako eh. Kasi hindi pa define.
Miscellaneous, diba? Ganun.
Oo, miscellaneous lang, others ganyan. Yon. Pero ngayon sa DTI meron ng ganun na descriptor. Ayan.
Very good.
May presentation pa ba si Lidge na for this one or ano?
We have the final, like siguro kasi I see some questions. How does all of it Taxumo? Tapos I can also share at the end if you wish yung special treat that we had in store for the bailiwickers.
Ayan na yung kasi merong question dito, is Taxumo for free? Yan, sabi ni Lindsay. So if not, how much yung charge? Yan. So merong special na bibigay sa atin si Sir EJ.
Yan. Oo. Okay. Sige. So it's the same presentation naman siya, Grace. So there we go. Thank you.
Yan.
All right. So I'll just like maybe walk you through like how Taxumo works, no? What are the features and benefits? So first of all, Taxumo is a web application. It's you can go to www.taxumo.com on Chrome or Safari on your phone, but basically any browser you can open Taxumo. So just go to www.taxumo.com and the idea there is that as a business owner, you enter income and expense. Okay, so papasok mo ano yung income mo, papasok mo yung expenses mo, and then in real time, we compute how much yung tax dues mo. So you always know how much yung dapat itabi mo. No? So hindi ka nagugulat. Kasi in our experience, na-shock kami minsan na, ganito na pala kalaki, nalalaman lang namin kasi kinumpute namin day of the deadline na. Wala na kami pera. No? So by doing it like this, you always know magkano yung dapat mong itabi. Aside from that, when you file through Taxumo, the forms are automatically filled out for you based on the data you've entered. And those forms will be submitted to the BIR na directly. Okay, so we have an interconnection with the BIR. Aside from that, you can also pay online through Taxumo. So whatever payment channel works for you, you can use that. You can use GrabPay if marami kang Grab credits. You can use credit card, debit cards by using our Paymaya channel. You can use PayPal as well. You can also pay via bank over the counter, online banking, or even non-bank. For example, Robinsons or SM. You can use all of those channels to pay for your taxes basically. And what happens is that kami na magre-remit ng payment na yon. So in Taxumo, we also have online and digital books of accounts. So there are people who, normally hindi mo alam how to fill out those books. So we can generate the reports for you, and then you just copy those books, or you copy the data into those books. That's one way of doing it. Another way of doing it is you can register for ang tinatawag sa BIR loose leaf books of accounts. Okay, and what happens is that your Taxumo reports, those are going to be your official book. Okay. And then every year, you just print those out. Kailangan mo i-hardbound because ewan ko bakit kailangan hardbound, pero kailangan mo ipa-hardbound tapos isasabit mo na lang every January. All right. Also in Taxumo, we use machine learning, and we can recommend ways for you to save on taxes based on like the data you've entered. So for example, we can tell you, alam mo masulit if 8% ka. Oy, masulit if try mong ilakad na 3 years ka na bang VAT pero hindi ka naman umabot ng 3 million, sige pababa mo na to try mong ilakad na po na VAT. So we have recommendations that will help you lower your tax dues. Tapos so if you need the guidance of a CPA, for example, you still want to work with Ning because she can like walk you through the whole process. We have a functionality in the BIR in Taxumo called delegate access. You can actually delegate access to your CPA, and your CPA can make sure that everything is correct for you, everything is filed on time, stuff like that, on your Taxumo account. Ito yung nabanggit namin, So if you don't have an accountant, yan. So you can go to taxumo.com/consult. Yan, look for Taxumo Consult. Book a time with our partner CPAs. Yan, kasama dyan si Luningning. Okay? And then, of course, if you have any questions about Taxumo, we have customer advocates that are on call from 9 a.m. to 12 midnight every weekday. Except tomorrow, because nung June 12, pumasok sila. So sabi namin, sige, magpahinga kayo. Tomorrow wala sila. Pero yun nga, we try to be as responsive as possible. Normally, on weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 midnight, there's someone who's gonna answer you. All right? Other services we provide, this is actually also a service we provide. We can also help you with business registration, no? And we can do that for professional sole prop partnership or corp. And you can also pay your SSS and your pag-ibig through Taxumo. So SSS has been a little bit wonky lately in closure. So hindi siya nag-work mainly because kasi nagda-down yung SSS lately. So it's not working as consistently as we want it, but you can pay your SSS and pag-ibig on Taxumo. PhilHealth is something that we're working on, so hopefully that's something you can also pay through us as well. And this is the pricing, no? So depending on like the tax options that are given to you by the RDO, this is the per month pricing. Basically, it's 888 per month, 1888 per month, or 288 per month, depending on like the tax options for you. Normally for you, if you're gonna be sole prop, most likely you're either 8% or micro, or 8%, which is the 888 or the 1888. The main thing that sets it apart is the tax option you opt for. So if you're opting for an 8% plan, yung 8% na flat income tax rate we're saying, then buhay ka na dun sa 888, no? So ganun siya. 8% and micro business. there. And yan. And this is the pricing of our business registration. We have for non-licensed or licensed professionals. I saw a question kanina about resellers. So normally resellers, pwede mong categorize yourself as a professional, which means that hindi mo kailangan mag-go through DTI, hindi mo kailangan mag permit, ganon. So that service we can help you with for 4,999, and then for sole props naman, we can do that for you for 9,999. No, and then we take care of everything na except for barangay clearance, basically, and DTI, because those things are taken care of online. And I think we went through a lot of questions already, so let me just go to the treat. So yan, so if you use the code Bailiwick, you can get 10% off any of our plans. So regardless of which plan you want to get, it's 10% off. So yan, use the code Bailiwick. Yung palang pricing namin for BizReg, that's actually na siya, lower pricing na siya. It's a promo rate that we have right now. Let me just go back to it. I'm sorry, 4,999 and 999. It's a promo offer that we're offering to people to help them until July 31, which is the the BIR's deadline, basically. So this is what we're offering. So yun, so this is what we have. So you can use Bailiwick, and thank you to Bailiwick for having us. And as a thank you for Bailiwickers, you get 10% off any plan.
Ayun. Thank you so much, Sir EJ, sa promo code. So, for Bailiwickers, just if you sign up sa Taxumo, you just go to taxumo.com, and if you decide to go with their plans, just input the promo code Bailiwick and you get 10% off sa any plan. So, dito po you mentioned earlier na for resellers lang yung pwede doon sa mag-apply for professional, right? For resellers.
Like for example, dropshippers, resellers, mainly if the goods naman normally kung reseller, parang you're basically just marketing the good, di ba? And then it's in one, like the original supplier who sends it to the other person, to the buyer. Then actually you can register as a professional for that. You can say you're a marketer, I market the goods, like that.
Okay. So that's for 999. Tapos yung isa sole proprietorship 9999. 9,999. Ayun. So you take care of everything na from except DTI. Tama?
Except DTI and barangay clearance. Kasi yung barangay clearance and experience, they want the person to get it. But otherwise, like everything. Okay.
So for DTI and barangay clearance, kayo mismo yung pupunta, magpa-file nun. And then kapag part na nung sa BIR, that's where Taxumo comes in. Tama?
Yes, that's right.
Pero wala pa pala yung mayor's permit, no? Tama ba? Wala pa yung mayor's permit doon. You don't assist?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes. Kasama yung LGU doon.
Kasama na yung mayor's permit.
Kasama yung mayor, yung paglakad ng mayor's permit, that's included. Kasama na yung yung may mga kilala kaming printer na mas mura, yan, yung mga nabanggit na liningning, yun din. Namin, yes.
Okay. So, included doon sa 9,999 is paglakad ng mayor's permit and sa BIR. Tapos ng pag-set up ng kung ano pang kailangan nyo for BIR.
So normally kami na yung nakikipag-away kasi
hindi
ano ibig sabihin na online yan. Kami na nag-explain.
Sobrang sakit nga sa ulo yun eh. Kapag yung makikipag-away ka, paano na hindi nila alam kung ano yung mga pinagsasabi mo.
Oo, di ba? Saka nagbibenta Facebook, pwede magbenta doon. Oh my gosh.
Na-experience ko rin yan. Mega explain ako dati kung saan ba ako nagbibenta.
Oo, di ba?
So, question from Wiwai. Until when ang promo? Hanggang July 31?
Until July 31, yung
July 31.
For BizReg until July 31. Pero itong 10% off any plan, I'm not sure until when, pero I think this is something that will keep open naman for you. Tama, Lidge.
Ayun.
I think Lidge can probably talk more about that. Pero we'll answer you na lang in the chat.
Okay. You want me to put leads here? Ayan. Hi, Leads.
Hi everyone, I'm finally here. So yun lang, walang deadline, walang ending promo code, so we can keep it on for Bailey Wickers.
Wow.
Ayun, mabuti naman. Thank you so much.
Basta mo ng Bailey.
So, forever pala to. So,
Until
ganun.
night last.
Ah?
May ganun. Yan.
For your users naman, may promo rin for Bailey Week. From Bailey Week to Taxumo.
Ano yun? Sorry?
For your users naman sa Taxumo, if you're going to
why not?
diba?
Game.
Oo, pwede. So, meron kami affiliate program.
Yes, oo.
Question from Janet. Paano po kung DTI lang po ang kinuha tapos hindi na po kumuha ng mayor's permit? Kung biglang nagbago ang isip mo sa business, magkakaproblema po ba yun sa BIR pagdating ng araw?
Gusto ko yung pagdating ng araw. Parang wala naman. Tama luningning, no? Pag mo naman sinimulan yung registration mo sa BIR,
Oh, yeah.
wala. Meron ka lang sa DTI na
Kasi
trade.
meron ka lang. Trade name. Tsaka pagdating ng 5 years, kung di mo siya ni-renew, magla-lapse lang siya. parang wala naman yatang penalty.
Oo. Correct. Kasi ako dati nag-register din ako ng isang business ko naman na sa DTI lang. Tapos na nagbago nga yung isip ko. So ayoko na siya. So hindi ko lang siya ni-renew. So okay lang. Yun.
Asa mo lang yung DTI.
Oo.
Yun lang.
Kapag nagkaroon ka ng mayor's permit, yun ang problema. Pag nagkaroon ka ng mayor's permit, yun yung may penalty talaga. Yun. Tapos if you want to go to a different name, tapos same industry, madedetect ng sa City Hall na under your name meron ka ng ganitong business. So dapat i-close mo yung isa. So kapag i-close mo yung isa, meron kang parang closure na babayaran, closure of business. Yan. So, meron kang babayaran. So parang
rin siya. Parang din yung process niya sa parang nag-register ka ulit. Pero parang final registration mo na siya.
Minsan parang mas madugo pa, di ba? Actually, if I may, meron pala kaming new product on Taxumo. It's called Taxumo Lifeline. So for people na, kunyari, na COVID, na parang dormant muna yung business nila, zero income, zero expenses, walang nangyayari. If you subscribe to Taxumo Lifeline, ang ginagawa nun, automatic magpa-file na siya ng zero for you. So hindi mo na iisipin, siya na nagpa-file for you na zero. So technically, wala ka ng penalties kasi minsan pag zero, di ba, nakakalimutan mo na mag-file kasi nalimutan mo na yung business pero magugulat ka na lang may penalties ka. So Taxumo Lifeline, ino-automate niya na yun, siya na automatically magpa-file.
Okay.
That one naman, that's 2 for the whole year na.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good kayo dyan. Kasi yun yung problema na parang sobrang busy sa business or nakalimutan na nga. Yun. So, tapos meron din, nagsasend rin kayo ng reminders, di ba? Na, hey, deadline na ng BIR, mag-file ng ganito. Dapat updated na yung yung sales and expenses mo doon sa Taxumo. So, i-remind din kayo na malapit na yung deadline and you have to comply na. That's the time na mag-input ka na ng sales expenses. So, para maglalaan ka talaga ng oras para doon. Yun. Okay. Sabi ni Rachel, answered prayer pala tong Taxumo. Been stressed out trying to figure out how to legalize my business before July 31. Yun. Sobrang thank you, Taxumo.
Thank you, Bailey Wick. Yeah, thank you, Bailey Wick, for inviting us.
So, yun. Kasi nakikita ko nga yung mga students namin and yung sa community namin na they're stressed out nga. So, sa kanila kasi bago lahat ito, yung pag-file ng business. Pero hindi naman pala bago. So, ang point lang nito is dapat any business na meron kayo, dapat registered sa BIR. Tapos, yun, dapat mag-file tayo lahat. Yun, ang bago lang is yung walang penalty for previous transactions. Yan. Do you have service for Cebu City? And is the payment for one time only or annually or monthly?
Is this for the yung subscription plans and yung Lifeline, that's nationwide regardless of where you're located, you can file through Taxumo. Yung business registration na prices that I shared a while ago, I believe wala pa kaming partners sa Cebu. We're looking for partners in other areas. So if may kilala kayo, pwede nyo refer. Kami pa yung kumuha ng referral. Pero unfortunately, wala pa sa Cebu right now. But that's something we announced naman on our social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. So pag malalaman nyo through those channels if we have like new areas that we can service.
Okay. So, yan yung maganda sa Taxumo kasi it's an online platform, tax assistance online platform. So, you can do it anywhere you are. So, basta may internet connection kayo. So, parang bailiwick lang na do it anytime, anywhere. So, kung kailan kayo ready, yun. Ang ano lang doon, yung magiging challenge lang doon is yung lakad ng DTI and mayor's permit sa area ninyo. Yun. So for provinces, yun yung wala pa. But hopefully in the future. Okay, question from Hazel. Paano po kung may corporate business ako with my sister? Then 10 years back, nag-out na ako sa business. Magkaka-apekto ba yun kung mag-open ako ng sarili kong business?
If you open the corporation, then it's a separate entity. Technically, wala naman siyang effect sa'yo. However, if it was open, like for example, if you open the sole proprietorship, tapos kinalimutan mo na siya, normally yon may penalties na yun na naiipon, no? Kasi naka-attach sa tin mo yon. The reason why a corporation would, kumbaga parang it's separate from you is mainly because it's separate tin. Corporation, as I said, is a separate person from you. Kaya, yon. So, as far as I know, you shouldn't be affected by that. Any insights on that, Nuningning? Parang ganun.
Yes, I agree. Kasi yun nga, the corporation, separate yung identity niya eh. Sa owners niya or sa incorporators niya or whoever built or yung mga officers ng corporation. So hindi wala siyang magiging effect if you have a separate business on a sole proprietor.
Yes, so yun yung advantage ng putting up a corporation. Kasi kapag sole prop, yung mismong team mo ang exposed. So kahit lahat ng related doon, yun, magkakaproblema. Pero since corporation yun before, hindi siya maapektuhan. So meron din dito kaming student na sabi niya, we're SEC registered since it's a partnership. So we started processing our docs last year and wasn't able to finish because of the pandemic. So what's the consequence of not being able to finish documentation?
So, yung applying sa SEC?
Oo.
Check nyo, kasi minsan, umaandar pala. May mga ganun ako narinig. Nalaman na lang nila later, na open pala. Tumuloy pala yung application nila. So check nyo. And if hindi pa tumuloy, tuloy nyo na lang. Otherwise, like withdraw your application. Pero I would recommend check nyo because yun nga may cases na umaandar siya mag-isa.
Yun. Kasi hindi natin alam na nila open na pala sila ulit, nalakad na, mga ganun.
Oo, diba? Kung kailan ayaw mong magtrabaho sila, biglang
Oo. So, akala natin close pa kasi nga pandemic. Yung pala nag-open, tapos nalakad.
Oo, may ganon.
Oo, kasi hindi naman sila nag-a-update sa atin eh. So, we have to go to the office talaga or call kung ano na bang status nung application natin. Kasi hindi nila tayo kokontakin para magbigay ng update.
Yes.
Kaya yun. Okay. Ano pa ba? Okay. Wala na ba dito sa wala nang questions? Anyone? Before we close our webinar? Wala nang pahabol. Salamat po. Yan. Thank you so much, Sir EJ, Luningning, and Lige for joining us today in our webinar. So for those who are latecomers, this webinar is recorded naman. So you can watch it in Facebook, or I'm also going to upload it in our YouTube channel. So you can get back to it. And if you need any help, just go to regarding your business registration and tax problems. You just go to www.taxumo.com, and don't forget to input yung code natin for bailiwickers, yung code bailiwick to get the 10% off on their plans. Ayan. Hi, baby. Ayun. Ayan. Thank you so much for those who joined us today.
Okay.
See you next time. Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.